Welcome back to Just the Tip. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got YouTube listeners listening on YouTube. Who does that? Do they not have Spotify?
You sound so old.
I sound like a boomer.
Yeah, okay, boomer.
Devin Golfin, you guessed it with Lauren and Cameron. You IG sleuth. Shantae the Supreme, this one's for you.
So we are back and we are talking about the #1 show on Netflix in the United States, Love is Blind. And you all, I stayed up hella late last night to watch the finale that was live at 12:01 a.m. I tried to convince Mike to do it. He respects his bedtime, so he left me hanging up by myself. It was well worth being tired as shit all day today.
Yeah, F that. I watched on the bus to and from work.
Yeah. And I had a great time watching it. I cannot wait to talk about it. Before we get into that, thank you to everyone who's been engaging with us on social. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Your Fave Podcast. I'm also on all of those social sites at 627. And Mike, what is your name on there?
I have a name on there?
Yeah, you're
Mike,
on Instagram.
Mike.couch.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very creative. Okay,
right.
So we're going to run through...
Giannini and Damien.
Yeah.
First couple.
Yeah, we're going to go through the order of the finale. Mm-hmm. This is your alert that there are spoilers.
This is the spoiler.
This is the spoiler. Okay, so we're going to start with Damien and Giannina.
My first thought is they're getting all these people together. They're getting their family to sit there and they... Like, Damien knows he's going to say no. And his family's sitting there and everyone's acting like, oh, but I mean, it's all a dog and pony show.
The first thing I thought was, oh, she was the one who fell down. So I took notes in like stream of consciousness.
Yeah, I was so like, wrong.
Oh, well, and who said it? I think it was Natalie. So my girlfriend Natalie, she told me she had figured out that it was Giannina who fell down. And this is days ago.
I thought she thought it was Kelly. And
no,
I was like,
I thought
no.
It was Kelly.
Oh, okay.
She thought it was Giannina because she said, oh, she was the only one who had her hair down like that.
Oof, wow.
Natalie, you're smart.
You got it. Yeah, I was totally wrong about who fell. So yeah, Giannina ate shit in the grass.
Yeah, so I really felt that Damien, needed someone who was all in. And when she said that her heart was broken in a million pieces, I thought that just meant I was hella embarrassed. And when he was talking to her and his friends and said, you've only liked me for one day out of 6 weeks. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty classy to like blame her in front of everyone.
Yeah.
I mean.
You thought he was blaming her?
Oh, he for sure was blaming her.
Did you think there was
Big time.
truth to what he was saying?
Yeah, but like that's stuff that, you know, you don't need to say that in front of everyone at the altar as you just said no.
I mean, you're on a TV show.
It made for great. Yeah, it made for great TV.
So what it made me think about was whether you have ever dated someone who would run away, because he kept saying that she runs away. If it feels too good, she starts kind of self-destructing. And so I wondered if you'd ever have an experience with someone like that.
Well, I mean, she ran away because it felt pretty bad because she got dumped at the altar.
No, not that. I'm talking about the course of the whole getting... Okay, so answer the question.
Well, no, I don't think I can't really relate to that, but I can relate to what I saw Giannina being. Giannina. Oh.
Fuck. Okay.
I feel like I've been in that relationship before.
Yeah.
With like the really, you know, wild mood swings and hot temper, lots of yelling, and then like the excuse of, oh, well, my family yells. That's just what we do. Like, I feel like I've been there, and so I think Damien made the right choice.
Yeah, I also thought that they're so damn dysfunctional that they really should stay far away from each other. Yeah, they were not a match. So didn't work. Next couple.
What I was thinking though is watching everyone leave the chapel. I was thinking of Netflix being like, okay, can everyone leave the chapel? We got another wedding in about 5. Next.
I was thinking about if they had to do any reshoots. If they were like, okay, come, we missed this. Can you come down? Like, how many times did they have to do it?
I mean, it is a TV show.
It is a TV show.
Their little argument at the end was completely scripted.
Yeah, I didn't get what was she doing when she ripped the fabric off and then tied it on him? Had he done that to her?
When she's mad, she yells. And she wasn't yelling. She was like, you could tell she was trying to get herself worked up, but she wasn't there. It was,
she had also already ran out, fallen down, cried to her mom, then had to come back and talk to him and finish filming. So, I mean, it's valid that maybe she also had calmed down a bit.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next couple.
Amber and Barnett.
Actually, let me just say this. I was wrong. I thought that they would you know when two dysfunctional people just say fucking and double down on each other? I thought they were going to do that. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I was wrong. You were right. You said they wouldn't get married. So right now you're right. I'm wrong. So 1-0.
It was a soft right because I wasn't totally confident on it.
Well, it doesn't matter. People luck up on life all the time.
But I'll tell you what, I was wrong about Amber and Barnett.
Amber and Barnett. So they start off their scene with Barnett having cold feet, Amber with less makeup on, looking kind of more chill, like she's getting ready to be a stay-at-home person. And it made me think, Mike, do you have cold feet about our wedding?
I don't have cold feet about us.
I don't either. And granted, we've been together for a while, but this whole narrative that keeps getting reinforced across our culture of having cold feet and being so nervous, that's not fucking natural.
Yeah.
It's not natural. And I'm saying this as someone who's been married before. It is not natural to have fucking hesitations and cold feet and be scared and nervous as you're getting ready to go and wed someone. If you're feeling that, you need to stop and check the fuck in with yourself, because that is not a normal feeling. And I think having people kind of perpetuate that it's okay. I mean, it's okay to have feelings, but I think you need to really explore why you're feeling that way. I'm sure Barnett was having cold feet as he thought about the crippling, minor crippling debt that he's inheriting. He's literally signing up to care for an adult.
He's taking on a child.
Well, it's an adult woman who fucks him. It's not really a child. So he said that it was so freaking difficult that it's not what marriage should be. So this is what Barnett said, which was like little sparks of having common sense. And I personally, watching their scene, I genuinely felt that they both could do so much better with finding a partner who was well suited for them.
I really do think that Barnett is going to be living in that trailer park, getting the cops called on him because Amber's drunk and beating his ass.
No,
that is in their future.
They're not going to be trailer park. He's like solid enough with his career. He was embarrassed of like a nice 1-bedroom apartment. If you hear our third co-host, it's Khaleesi in the background whimpering because she wants to play soccer and it's not time to do that yet. Something that I thought was funny was Barnett's dad with the low key eye roll and him sighing while the whole thing was happening. And then Amber's mom tried to save her. She's like, you know, when they were about to walk down the aisle, she's kind of like, are you sure? Like kind of inserting some doubt. It's not supposed to be hard. She's like, well, you tell me to fight for it. Then you tell me it's supposed to be easy. Which is it? And it's like, do you work? Do you want your daughter to marry someone who works or not? His friends and family were laughing. That was kind of crazy. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
When she opened up her vows, she started by saying, never have I ever in my life met a man who irks my nerves like you do. That was the actual real beginning to her vows.
Yeah.
Granted, it's been 6 weeks, but damn, girl, you're not even in the honeymoon stage in 6 weeks yet. You start your vows by saying that you've never met someone as annoying. Yeah. Then she went in to say, I found my love of a lifetime. And then she said, that's all I got.
I mean, his was like not even a full sentence.
What did you think about it?
It wasn't even like a complete thought.
What do you think about that?
Well,
Mike, have a complete thought.
She did. I know, right? She did say that he doesn't talk about his feelings, and it showed. He was not talking about his feelings up there. I'm just shocked. I can't believe he said yes.
I wrote down, he should say no, but he's dumb enough to say yes, I bet.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I wrote was, he says I do, and that he can't imagine his life without her. She responds, good, because you're stuck. This is their relationship, and I honestly had to pull myself back and remind myself, I think their relationship is relatable to a lot of people who think that chaos and level of drama is passion and exciting.
Yeah.
When it's dysfunction.
I do think that people can often confuse chaos and like high passion and high emotion for what a good relationship should be.
I like peace.
Yeah.
And stability.
Yeah.
I also thought that their wedding kiss was a little trashy. And this is going to sound so petty, but her smile bothers me.
Oh my God.
Every time she like smiles kind of up like this and then looks into his eyes, it's just, I wish that she had finished college, and I wish that she was managing her debt and had a job, because I think that she's the type of woman that it would be beautiful to see what her life could look like if she was empowered to the things that she thinks she needs a man to give her. I know that she could give herself and then have the option to build with a man and have like a, some type of safety net, but she has no fucking safety net.
If she just wanted to do anything other than drink her bottles of wine, I would be on Amber. I'd be more on Amber's team.
Well, now it's wine because last time it was beer money.
It's both.
So, okay. So they were a surprise. Let's move on to Kelly and Kenny, though. They're so fucking boring.
The ice cream melted.
The
two melted. Scoops of vanilla ice cream melted.
I mean, she managed to get all the way down the aisle and have him be, on the surface, a really good guy her family was in love with. Her sister was like, he's the best one of all the ones you've brought around. And she still hadn't had sex with him, and he was still into her.
Yeah. Kelly just doesn't love Kenny as much as she loves her ex. She was saying how much she felt for her ex.
She said she was infatuated.
Yeah.
Infatuation isn't the same thing as love. And it made me wonder if she really was stopping to think, is infatuation a sustainable feeling? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think a little bit of infatuation can stick around to a degree. I think lust. I think like pure. Just
well, she didn't want to fuck him, so there was no lust.
Yeah, there was no lust.
Okay, so the star of, because I kind of knew they were going to be boring, and I almost fast forward, but the star of their scenes to me was her sister. I did not get her sister's name, but her sister had solid advice and made all the sense. I love that she said sometimes in life you get an opportunity, and if you don't jump on it, you miss the boat. She also said the great risk in life, you've got to take that jump. I love her sister, and yeah, I agree with her sister. And she's
like, Kenny is objectively the best guy you've brought around
ever. Their families were such a good fit that low key, I would watch a show about if they would have really gotten together. They're hella boring. I would have watched a reality show, one episode about the family dynamics, because like I liked the way the families interacted. So their families were really interesting, and I think that's why they got some, airtime.
I think Kenny came out of this looking pretty good.
Until the end. At the end, when they were still filming him, and he was like, he had that level of tension where it's like, do you punch your fist through a wall? It's kind of ragey. There's people that have that silent rage. I'm very wary of those people.
I mean, you are actually wary of the silent.
Well, it's because
rage.
I'm not. I'm a throw something across the room rager. So I'm like weirded out by people who are not like that.
You show any bit of rage you have. And so when someone doesn't show their rage, you're like genuinely freaked out.
I felt that they were setting them up to not have a mutual I do when at first, he went first, and I was like, oh, okay, he's of course going to go first because it's produced.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
And I also kind of liked that we got to see the bridal party walk in. It kind of made it feel a little bit more dramatic because it pulls you into the families, and it creates that. Thank you, producers at Netflix and the director and everyone behind the show, because this was the first time that I realized in real time that a couple that I had no fucking interest in, I could see the storytelling and the weaving of suspense. And I mean, it actually made me want to take like a storytelling reality TV scripted drama class, because I know that there's a recipe. I know that they were building it, and I could tell what it was, but I didn't know how to name it.
His speech at the end, though, at the altar, made me like, it showed that he knew it was coming. Like his composure and his little like speech that he made.
Yeah.
It was very much like, he knew what the outcome was going to be.
I think he's just someone who's thoughtful and probably keeps it together and saves face, and would like drink himself into a stupor and like, lock him. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. That's kind of mean. So what I did think about them was that I honestly thought that she was going to say no to getting married, but that she would say yes to staying and dating him. They made it seem like she just needed more time without the pressure of engagement, and they left us kind of hanging, not knowing what happened. And I wouldn't be surprised if on the season finale, or I'm sorry, season reunion, which is March 5th, I wouldn't be surprised if they rekindled something.
I don't think any of the couples are going to be together by the reunion.
You don't think?
Okay, the married couples, maybe, but the people who didn't get married, no, they're done. They're not still together. They're not dating.
Let's go to our favorite hot mess. Wait. Let me have a sip of my Pellegrino in honor of Jessica sipping on drinks the whole season.
It's my wedding day and it can't be happier.
I have read a few articles saying how amazing it is that Jessica waited to the end of the show to use her real voice.
I can't believe I'm here. I'm so excited. Mark is the best guy I've ever met.
When she showed up, I was thinking to myself, has she been brainwashed?
She signed a contract. Like, there's something that forced her to be there, or there was money involved. Like, she got her whole family up there, and she knew she was going to say.
Did you even see her family? I don't remember seeing her family.
She had people there.
I think she had a couple of friends. I don't even think she has a family.
Oh, maybe she didn't have family there.
No, she didn't. I remember thinking
she walked down the aisle alone.
Well, she's 34. You can walk, and then you don't have family. Like, you can. She's making 6 figures and living her life, letting her fucking dog drink wine, which I don't agree with. And I don't think there's anything wrong with walking yourself down the aisle.
I was surprised that when Mark came out of the car at the venue, he didn't have his guitar with him.
I was surprised when she said Mark has exceeded every expectation, and I was looking for her lines. Like, where are the cue cards?
Yeah. No, ever since Mexico, this has been a
it's been
storyline. It's just been a storyline.
I wondered about his mom's resting bitch face and how annoyed she looked. But then I thought she may have like an eye thing, because I think her eye was moving. And I honestly, this is not to be shady. Like, I thought his mom was rolling her eyes the whole time because it's Jessica and it's warranted. But I think it just floats around.
Yeah, I think that's just what his mom looks like.
Let's see. I really think that Jessica's reality TV gold. And I kind of was expecting Mark's mom to go upside her head, take her out. Like, you fucked with my baby.
I wasn't expecting that. I'm just glad that we don't have to see the cat chasing the feather on a string anymore.
Oh, I was like, who had a cat? Mark?
Yeah, Mark's the cat. Jessica
I watched an
was
interview.
The feather on a string.
I actually watched an interview with Mark earlier today. And they asked him how he felt when he looked back and was able to watch the show and see the scenes and realize how it was with Jessica and Barnett. And he's really classy with how he handled it, because he kind of spoke to the fact that they were in this intense situation and they were in like a heightened state of emotions. But he also acknowledged that they filmed this in 2018. So it's been 1.5 years. So, you're able to talk about things a lot better. And he said that the time that they had since they filmed, they could really prepare for this happening. So I appreciated that. I am so excited to hear Jessica's point of view. Oh, sidebar, something I also learned during filming, her dog almost died. Not from the wine, but from ingesting like a piece of plastic or something. And she said that after she would film during the day, she would be laying with her dog. So part of me thought maybe she was so distraught because her dog had to go through surgery and almost didn't survive, that's what the emotional up and down and the heavy drinking, you're not in your normal environment. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think she was just drinking, toying with Mark, having a little fun. She wasn't serious about it at all.
So, right. Our favorite
Lauren
couple
and Cameron.
The main event. Of course, they saved them for last because they already knew we were going to tune the fuck out as soon as we found out what happened to them.
I thought for sure that Lauren was like just kind of pulling back. Like, it seemed to me like she like that,
That's because you're Cameron and I'm her. And you thought that about me too.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of looked like she was like she looked like she was actually getting cold feet and wasn't going to go through with it.
I told you what it was. I told you that it wasn't that she had cold feet. It was that she has never lived with a man, and that's the one area she has not been faced with having to flex and grow in. And I think that she had a guy that she liked and it's going well, and she's immediately challenged in a short amount of time to have to kind of like buck up and grow in that area for the sake of the relationship in a good way. And when I watched an interview with her today too, actually I watched 2 interviews with her because she's dope as fuck. She's #goals, and everyone is kind of thinking of her as the new Meghan Markle. Sidebar in case anyone really is interested.
Is Cameron royalty?
Well, everyone's looking at their like love story because it's a really cool way to see Black women being goofy and silly and being vulnerable and having fun and being desired. And I think that it's a lot of narratives beat Black women down and tell them that they're less than. The media tells you that. You're told that no one wants you. There's all these ridiculous things that are reinforced in media. So Meghan Markle was this one thing. Clearly, I'm looking at a Meghan Markle and Prince Harry cutout right now, which is still up in our house. So Mike is very sensitive to this. Like, you know that I love those types of stories. But I think their love story was really beautiful. Something she said, I actually watched an interview with her and Cameron together. She said that the one thing that wasn't portrayed as accurately is that she said that while race was an aspect of their relationship, she's like, we didn't nearly talk about it as much as they made it seem. She said every time that they ever talked about it, they put it in the show.
Yeah, but the show really kept like the hosts, everyone, the preacher. They kept trying to push that as a storyline.
Yeah,
it wasn't really for them at all.
Well, she made it clear to say this was something that we talked about, but she goes, the story made it seem like every moment it was like, do you know that you're white and I'm Black? And that I'm Black and you're white, and that you're white and I'm Black. And so, and they had they made fun of it, but she was like, that was the one thing where that wasn't the whole relationship. And Cameron stepped in and also said that he wished that they would have shown other sides of their, intimacy and growing in their bond.
Yeah.
I follow both of them now on Instagram. And I'm very excited for this love story to play out.
It's cool to see an example of a biracial couple, but with a white man and a Black woman.
It's interracial.
Oh,
but
you never, because like there are not a lot of examples in mainstream media of that kind of couple.
We're that kind of couple.
Yeah, we're like what media are we? We're not in mainstream media. We're
no,
like,
baby. We're on my Instagram. Okay, please, nobody come for Mike.
Can you tell me when we're mainstream?
Please,
are we mainstream yet?
Please don't come for Mike and check him and try to humble me, because we're popping on my Instagram, and that's where it starts and stops.
Yeah, like don't even go to my Instagram.
Seriously, because
there's nothing there.
There's literally nothing there. So speaking of that, since you said that, what did you feel like as a white man being able to see another example of your type of love story?
I mean, I feel like I actually knew what Cameron was thinking.
Did you?
Yeah. He was like, damn, she's beautiful.
He said in the interview today that sometimes he has to close his eyes so he doesn't get distracted by looking at her and seeing how beautiful she is. In the whole interview, he had his arm around her. And it honestly does make me feel similar to how it just reminded me of how you make me feel.
Well, and it's just another example of representation matters.
Oh, baby, look at you. Representation matters.
Yeah. I mean, I see white guys all the time represented in media, but I never see a white guy with a Black woman. And it's just cool to see it's cool to see yourself in mainstream media.
Your love story.
Yeah. And I mean, our story is
because your other love story was Jessica, and that shit wasn't popping.
Our story is nothing like theirs. It's only like theirs in this teeny sliver of what our lives are. No, but it's still cool to see someone who looks like me with someone who looks like you.
The thing that I think more than just the race, the race is like a very easy surface level, low hanging fruit thing. What it is about their relationship that that resonates within me and that I connect with so much is the intimacy, and it's honestly the way that he interacts with her.
Yeah,
reminds me of how you interact with me.
Yeah, there's definitely several layers of him reminding me of me.
Yeah.
And her reminding me, like, she's a content creator. You got me to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
well, in the sense of you have someone who's maybe a little more laid back, and then you have someone who's the more outgoing, in that sense.
Yeah, you're outgoing and plugged in. Mm-hmm. He's not, I'm not. He's kind of nerdy. I'm kind of nerdy. You're not. She's not at all. Like, you're not at all. She's not at all. You know, there are actually like several layers that I feel like we kind of relate to them.
But I also think when she said when they were in Mexico that she had never been loved in that type of way by someone, I felt that because I felt that with you. When I see the way that he looks at her and the way he handled her, it reminds me of how you are with me. And it was just kind of cool to see that because I think you're so sweet. And let me not get too emo. about this.
So I think out of all the couples, I actually think is the reunion going to be something that was filmed a year ago, or is it like something that was filmed recently?
I didn't check. I didn't research that. I'll have to get back
Okay,
to you.
well, either way, Amber and Barnett, I give them like 6 months to 2 or 3 years at most.
I think the reunion is more recent because the cast just watched the show air. So now they're going to talk to them after they've seen everything.
But I think if any couple is going to make, well, there's only 2. The couples who didn't get married, no, they're done. Amber and Barnett, they're going to be done soon. But Lauren and Cameron, I believe if anyone's going to make it, they could.
What did you think about him crying as she walked down the aisle?
Oh, I believed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked real.
And then crying as she was up there.
Yeah. No, yeah, I believed him for sure.
I think that they're adorable. I noticed that were they the only one? I mean, I guess no one else wrote vows, but were they the only ones who wrote their actual vows out?
Like on paper?
Yeah. I mean, the other people were kind of going off the top of the dome, which is why Amber was like, that's all I got. I just adore them as a couple. And at the end of the show, when they were at the reception, which, God, how fucking awkward of a reception with like reality TV show lights and not a lot of music. And you probably can't have AC on because of the way it will affect the sound. But he said, I'm happy I locked it down. And I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
So I like him. Overall, what are your thoughts on the show? Because you are someone who called this trash.
It still is. It 100%.
You really want to double down and stand by the fact that you think
Sticking with it.
this. Come on, though, be open. Like really, be open. A show that you enjoyed, that you learned something from, you're gonna still say it's garbage. It's the #1 show in the country.
It's okay to like something that's garbage.
I think the show wasn't garbage. I thought it was entertaining. I thought that the production value was good. I just enjoyed the storylines. I think that I'm really interested during the season reunion to understand from the creators what happened to the other couples. There were other couples who got engaged, so they just didn't follow their stories. So I'm curious to know who were those other couples that got engaged. What happened to them?
Yeah, we may never know though.
We're gonna find out.
Are we?
Yeah, there's literally March 5th a season reunion.
Okay. Well,
you can tell Mike doesn't watch reality TV. He's like, will we ever know?
we'll be watching.
Can I Google that? What's the biggest takeaway you had after the weddings? Any other lessons that you learned?
Oh shit, I don't know. I mean, no. I gotta say, I didn't learn much from the weddings. It was the Mexico where I like felt I had takeaways. The weddings, a lot of the weddings were scripted to me. Like so much of it was scripted to me. The Lauren and Cameron thing, I didn't see coming because I thought she was pulling away.
They were literally the only ones that were going to actually make it.
Yeah. No, I got to say, I didn't get much value out of the weddings, like takeaway learning. There wasn't many teachable moments to me in those.
I am happy that Jessica did make the decision that was in her best interest. I am happy that Damien made the decision that was in his best interest. I am very interested to see what they have learned a year and a half later and what their lives are like now, being able to see that play out. Something that was kind of cool in the interview, the host of the show mentioned that Mark's DMs have been so popping right now. He's getting it thrown at him.
Oh, good for him.
Good for him. Good job. Round of applause. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I think they'll all be fine. Jessica will meet someone who has seen all her level of crazy and will show up with some flowers and a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I mean, shit, that's what she needs at this point.
Yeah.
Someone who has seen it all, and they got to be tall.
It needs to be Barnett.
It's got to be someone who looks just like Barnett.
But not his brothers, because his brothers didn't look like him.
And she'll just melt. And whoever that is will get all the love that Mark wanted. But I'm glad that Mark's getting the DMs.
Yeah, I mean, he's 24. No, he'll be 26 now. Yeah, your life is still fine.
Yeah.
You're 26-year-old trainer. You'll be great. So yeah, this was a fun show. I'm excited. Let us know what you thought. Were the couples that you had said were going to make it, did they actually make it? Did you really think that Barnett would double down on Amber? Do you think they're still together? We can find out on March 5th when they come back and they spill all the tea. As Lauren said, the tea will be piping hot. Very excited. Let us know what you think.
Okay, that was a fun one.
Your Fave Podcast. Mike, what's our Instagram handle?
Your Fave Podcast.
At Your Fave.
At Your Fave Podcast.
I have to practice this with him because he literally doesn't know our handles.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.